The first round of the men's 100 meter dash at the USA Outdoor Meet is officially over, and if you really want to know what actually happened out there, that is what I am here for, to tell you, because I paid attention to every single heat, watching it on USATF.tv, and if you didn't actually get to see it for yourself, the results don't do it justice. We had a Noah Lyles sighting, even though he had the bye and didn't even have to show up to this event if he didn't want to. We also had some high school kids who hopped in there, a whole bunch of college kids from different divisions, D3, D2, and D1 pulling up. But beyond that, the fastest men in America were supposed to be there. You know, the ones with the pro contracts. And yes, what I can tell watching these rounds so far is that the fastest men are exactly who we thought they were. So first, I'm going to break down every single heat, like heat 1 through heat 4, because 27 men qualified through to the semifinal. That's a very large number. They really only eliminated a few people from round 1 to round 2. And I'm not even going to put a video out on the semifinal, because the margin of time between that and the actual final is very minimal. But the final itself, if you really want to see it, that you can watch for free. It'll be on USATF.tv. I think you just got to go to the site and they'll make it available. But I'm still going to tell you what actually happened when that goes down as well, specifically what it all means. But let's get into it. When it comes to Heat 1, we were given a very interesting race because Trayvon Bromell was there, and he did what I thought he would. He qualified and made it look pretty easy. He isn't technically number 1 on the leaderboards. That would be T. Marth McCallum, who represents the University of Tennessee. But you have to understand, it's not exactly what you think. Because T. Marth McCallum, as I expected, charged through the line. Like, that's what he does. He ran hard because he, they say, he felt the track and, made it clear that he was, getting informed and that he had the talent to be a serious threat. What Trayvon did is he runs entirely under control and then shuts it down. So much so where he can look across, realize how clearly he's in good qualifying position, and shut it down. And I don't say that much, but it's clear that he actually shut it down in this one. So yes, Trayvon Bromell is still exactly who we thought he was. If you want to make this Team USA, you're going to have to go through him in order to do it. But we do know that T. Marth McCallum, at the very least, is now a good spoiler pick to at least get to the final. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Moving on to Heat 2, it was the Kenny Bednarek show. And I shouldn't have to tell you that this one looked like Grand Slam track all over again. He ran 9.95 seconds wind legal, and nobody else in the heat broke 10:10. I'll get to who else was there in a moment, but yes, he ran entirely under control, ran far away from the field. He was technically the fastest time qualifier, but you have to understand that Kenny Bednarek makes it look easy, especially when he's in the last 50 of that race. He's in top gear and he's just kind of walking away from him, like, hey, this is what we do. But in second place, this is where things get interesting, because high school athlete Maurice Gleaton Jr. ran to second place. He ran 10.10 seconds on that clock, which is right up there with his, ratified, legal personal best. I mean, he charged through the line as I expected he would. And athletes like him could, mess things up and sneak into a final, taking a spot from somebody else. So that's what, being a leader coming out of the heats, that's kind of what it proves from then going into the semis. But Tate Taylor, who's technically the high school national record holder in the 100, he was in that exact same heat. He just was nowhere near the front. He actually finished in 7th place, but because 27 people go to the semifinals, he was the last qualifier on time, going 10.3 seconds. But Heat 3, as far as I'm concerned, had to be the highlight, because there was a Noah Lyles sighting, where he shows up and runs that first round. He doesn't plan on running the semis or the final tomorrow, but he did run the first round, and he won it, to remind us why he had the title of the world's fastest man. He was out there probably to work on things and get things sharp because he hasn't raced much this year, and I get it. But the men who went top 3 in this specific heat, those are the names you need to understand, because Ronnie Baker was right behind Noah Lyles. Again, the running wind legal, it was maybe 10:04, 10:07 or something like that, more or less a relatively small margin. But Ronnie Baker, he looked like the guy who won USA Indoor in the 60 and had a real good shot to win the World Indoor before he got hurt in that final race. But regardless, he gets out. Noah Lyles runs them down because that's what he does. Gets to the line. They're both more or less neck and neck. But in third, behind them, is Jordan Anthony, who he was accelerating through and going through his phases. And hey, he believes that he can be on this team. I know that to be a fact. But this heat at least tells us that he's going to have competition, because he was not in clean position. Like, yes, he gets third, but he had to earn that third place at least through 85 meters. By the time he looks over and he realizes, like, okay, I'm going to qualify and that's not a concern, that's one thing. But he can also realize that if those gears didn't kick in to be able to run past, in this case, Noah Lyles, but it'll be somebody else in the next heat, as well as Ronnie Baker, you got to keep that in mind, because only 3 people are going to get to go on this team, and he wants to be one of them. To be real with you, the 4th person in that heat really wasn't close to anybody else who was in the top 3, just saying. And when you move on to heat 4, this one was probably the most intriguing for somebody like me, because we had more or less a Star Athletics challenge. You get Brandon Hicklin, Courtney Lindsay, and Christian Coleman. With who is in that heat, they were supposed to go top 3, which is exactly what happened. The order, however, is important. Not so much because of this heat, but for us to understand where they actually, because I don't think all of them are going to make this team when the dust settles. Just saying. They all have a real shot to do it, but I think only one is going to do it. And Courtney Lindsay won this heat. Christian Coleman got a pretty good start, maybe not his best, but ran under control, got to the line, made it look pretty comfortable. So he's letting us know that whatever we've been seeing from Christian Coleman isn't this, because he is back. They were actually running into a negative headwind, so if you just evaluate on that, it's pretty clear that this was the best race that we've gotten from Christian Coleman this entire season thus far, and it was a prelim where he clearly had a lot more. Brandon Hicklin went 10.14, and after that, the rest of the field was pretty decently off of all of them. As we look forward to the semifinals and to the finals, from what I can tell, this is how things are going to shake up. The fastest men, like the ones who people came in picking to make it to the final, I don't really see how they don't make it. So I'm going to tell you who I think the finalists are right now, and let's figure out whatever spots we have left. I think it's pretty clear that Trayvon Bromell, that's 1, Kenny Bednarek, that's 2. And I'm even going to throw in Christian Coleman, 3, Courtney Lindsay, 4, Brandon Hicklin, 5. All of them are going to the final. Fortunately, Noah Lyles isn't going to take a spot in that final. That's 5 names. We got 4 more lanes to give out. I actually think Ronnie Baker is pretty much so a pretty good choice to be in another one of those lanes. Now you got 6 names. I don't really see how Jordan Anthony doesn't get there on talent. That's 7. But I think for those final spots, it's actually going to come down to him, T. Mars McCallum, who ran very well in his first heat but ran through the line, and then I think Maurice Gleaton Jr. is also going to make it interesting. He's already shown that he can run fast, and that he isn't scared of the pros when he lines up with them. The difference is, those are technically no pressure situations. This one, like, you're actually running for something. Even though I didn't say Christian Miller's name, he was here in the race. He underachieved in his heat, but of course he did qualify. And he kind of had a similar story at the Olympic trials last year, but still made it to the final and got 5th. So if I'm going to throw a flyer, I'd say Christian Miller is one of those spots. And remember, getting to the final is not the goal. You actually have to take care of business and finish top 3 when it is all done. Because Noah Lyles' tickets are already booked. And I think winning his first heat, the only one that he planned on running in this 100, is all he really needed to do. He just needed to remind us that when he does show up to a race, that for the most part, it's going to be hard to beat him to the line, because that is exactly where he's running. He may not blow the doors off of the race when it starts, but it doesn't matter. And if you actually care about Team USA winning medals at the Worlds, it really does make a difference who will make this team. Because in the finals, I admit that technically almost anything can happen. But when you get to the Worlds and run the rounds over there, it is not the same thing. Because now you have international travel and all the variables that come along with it. Experience is an incredibly good teacher. And for that reason alone, I personally want to see the fastest people go. So if you pull up to the USAs, and you are not a favorite to make this team. If you're gonna do it, I want you to take it by force. I don't want something that goes left, injury, people who are just underperforming to be the reason why you get that spot. Because just putting on a USA uniform doesn't make you fast. You have to be a fast person and then put on the uniform and then go out there and prove it. But that is what the USA trials system is for. And as far as I can tell, up until this moment, the fastest men in America are exactly who we thought they were. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your fast is a lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.